Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I have another what's sold on eBay video for you. If this is your first time here watching this kind of video from me, basically what I'm going to do is take you through some of my sold listings and show you what is actually selling for me right now on eBay in hopes that it helps you out in your own reselling business. Now, as always, this is not everything that I have sold on eBay. This is just a good selection of items that I have curated for you in hopes that you can learn a thing or two and incorporate this kind of stuff into your own reselling business and hopefully learn and make some money. With all that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So I thought we'd start things out with an item from that most recent haul video. If you haven't seen this video, go check it out. It's insane. I spent $4,000 at a single thrift store in hopes to make around $24,000 in estimated revenue off of stuff just like this. This is a piece from that haul. This is a Roughwear Quincy insulated dog jacket. As you can see, it is basically a puffer jacket for a dog. And as you can see, this item is selling over on eBay right now for me for $60. I have quite a few of these that I'm getting listed right now. And over on Amazon, the new with tags ones of these are selling for $80 a piece. This Roughwear stuff, I'm going to make some very, very good money on. I've talked about Roughwear in the past. If you're not picking it up, add it to your bolo list and start looking out for it. Next up, we have this piece. It might look a little familiar to some of you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw me post this when it sold. This is a Chanel No. 5 countertop acrylic advertising display. Basically, this is a store display for the Chanel No. 5 perfume. As you can see, this did not come with the perfume itself. It was just the advertisement display. I bought this at Goodwill for around $8 to $10 and sold it for $200 plus $25 shipping. When I saw this, I knew there was a huge market out there for advertising pieces, and with this being such a high-end designer brand, I knew this thing would have some value behind it, and I knew that it would sell well. So I ended up picking it up and taking a chance without knowing the value. I couldn't find any comps on the specific piece, so I just kind of used my best judgment. It sat on my store for about a month, and eventually it ended up selling. So if you find advertising pieces, especially for high-end designer or luxury brands, buy them. They probably have some value. This piece right here is pretty dang cool. I found this on an estate sale. This is a vintage 100% alpaca, which is something that you always want to look for no matter what the item is. If you see 100% alpaca wool, it's probably going to have some kind of value behind it. And this one right here is a Peruvian hat. This is an authentic Peruvian hat, and I picked it up for $5 at an estate sale. Again, I had no idea on the value on this. There were no completed listings, no solds to go on, so I kind of had to just base it on what I felt it was worth. So I threw it up there at $100. I bought this in the springtime, so it's been sitting on my store for about 3 or 4 months now, and I eventually ended up taking a best offer of $75 on it. Sometimes when you're researching items and they're not coming up with sold comps, it can still be worth buying them if they fall into a specific niche. For example, this one, I ended up buying it specifically because I knew alpaca wool stuff sells very well, and on top of that, it is a vintage authentic Peruvian piece. I knew there would be some kind of market for it, so I took the chance at $5, and it ended up being a very good score. This item right here came from that new Amazon Overstock store that I've been featuring in some of my videos called Digging for Deals Overstock, guys. It's located in Cincinnati. Basically, on Saturdays, everything in the store is $5. Everything's just piled into bins like they have at the Goodwill outlets, and you just dig through stuff and hopefully find some treasure. This is one of the pieces that I pulled out. This is a Jump Top E18 2000 amp portable car jumper pack. This is an item I had no idea about. I've never sold one of these before, and it wasn't a brand name. However, once I ended up scanning it on Amazon, I saw that it had some kind of value. However, I was restricted on Amazon for this particular product, so I decided to list it on eBay, and I still got some very good money. Again, I paid $5 for this, ended up selling it for $65 in about 2 weeks' time. And if you can take something away from this item, take away, you always need to be willing to scan items and look up items if you think there might be a potential for there to be money to be made. Legos. Everybody knows to buy Legos. Legos are super hot sellers all year round. There's a huge collector market out there for them, and it doesn't have to be a well-known Lego set to have value. This was a generic Lego Friends Stephanie's Beach House set. Nothing special about it at all, except that it was brand new, sealed. I found this at a garage sale for $10, and I knew instantly that I was going to buy it just because almost every Lego set out there is going to be worth more than $10 if it's brand new. So this was a no-brainer to pick up, and it sold for $75. Now, a lot of people sell Lego bulk by the pound, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. I personally don't do it just because it can be a lot of pieces to store, and it's just not something that I want to do. And me personally, I don't buy very many pre-owned Lego sets, and that's just because I don't want to sit there and have to count out all the pieces. It can get really annoying, and it's just not something that I enjoy doing. So when I pick up Lego stuff, it's either brand new in box, or if it is pre-owned, it has to be a limited edition or really sought after Lego set for me to consider buying it. But just know, if you do end up coming across some pre-owned sets, there is nothing wrong with buying them. If you're willing to sort through and make sure all the pieces are there, there's still plenty of money to be made on sets. I just personally steer away from it if I can. In that same category of toys, we have this. This is a Mega Block set. Everybody knows about Lego having value and how the sets can go for some crazy money. But some of the other modular building sets, such as Mega Blocks or Mega Constructs, can have some value as well, especially if they have a good, well-known franchise behind them, like Pokemon, or in this case, Halo. Halo's a well-known gaming brand. Everybody knows about it. It's a well-known first-person shooter that has a big following, and that is why I knew this set would have some value when I saw it at a garage sale. So I ended up picking it up for $15 and flipped it in about a week's time for $100. So just be aware that it's not only Lego that has value, some of the other sets can have value as well if they have the right branding behind it. Okay, let's talk about shoes. Everybody knows you can flip shoes for some good money. There are people who base their entire business around shoes. There are resellers who go to shoe launches to sell the newest, latest, greatest shoe. There are resellers who focus on vintage shoes, or there are just resellers who focus on pre-owned shoes. But one of these shoe categories that I feel like is really overlooked are wrestling shoes. In middle schools and high schools across the country, there are a ton of different people that are wrestlers, and their shoes are always getting worn out, and these things are in demand. However, I don't see a lot of resellers talk about them. I see them talk about normal sneakers, basketball shoes, cleats, but everybody seems to overlook wrestling shoes. These things are super good sellers. When you find them, you can look up the models, and they're almost guaranteed to have some kind of value behind them. This specific pair was a brand new in the box pair that I got. They are Adidas Combat Speed Force, and when I got them, like I said, they were brand new in the box. However, when I ended up listing them and shipping them out, I listed them as new without the box because that box takes up so much room and adds such a big dimension compared to just the loose sneakers that the shipping costs just negate the extra income that you would get if they were new in box. So in the end, if your shoes are pretty close in value with and without the box, it'd be better for you to ship them without the box. Also, remember to look up wrestling shoes. Speaking of shoes that are in high demand, these are Nike Jordans. These are the OG bands from 2009, the red and black colorway, very desirable pair of sneakers. These ones though, were shot. These were in terrible condition, as you can see right here in the pictures. I mean, these things were bad. They were probably some of the worst condition pair of these that have sold on eBay, to be completely honest. Like, look at this. The heels were all torn out. There was stains, there was rips, there was discoloration. These things were trashed, but I knew there was still value because people are crazy about their sneakers. This pair probably either went into someone's collection directly, or it's going to someone who is going to restore these sneakers and then either resell them at a higher price, or they're going to put them in their own personal collection once they've been restored. I picked these up at the Route 127 World's Longest Yard Sale for $20, and I ended up flipping them, even in this condition, for $175. If you aren't looking up the Jordans, right on the inside of the tag, you can type in this little number right here, and it'll give you the model of the sneakers. If you start looking them up, I guarantee eventually you're going to come across a pair that has some pretty good value behind it, and this is one of those times for me. So let's talk about nostalgia. Nostalgia is powerful. Nostalgia sells. Nostalgia will make you money. If you haven't learned that yet, learn it right now. People are willing to spend a lot of money on things from their past, things that give them good memories, and things that make them feel good. And this is one of those things that brought back the nostalgia factor for me, so that's why I ended up picking it up. I wanted to keep this for myself until I saw the value of it. This is just a simple Goosebumps bandana, just nothing but a normal square neckerchief bandana, and this thing ended up selling for $35. Goosebumps is one of those brands that people pay up for because it transports them back to their middle school days when they're walking down the hall in the middle of October to the Scholastic Book Fair. They walk right past that Guinness Book of World Records sitting on the shelf because, you know, you got last year's issue and this year's probably going to be the same thing. But you see the newest Goosebumps book, whip it open, you smell it, smells real good, and you just start reading and you're immersed in the story. That feeling right there is what sells and what will make you money. There are all kinds of Goosebumps products out there. I've bought a ton of different kinds. I've bought shirts, I've bought hats, I bought this bandana, I've bought board games, I've bought the books. This kind of stuff sells. If you can find the whole book set as a complete set, go ahead and buy it. That sells for some pretty good money. Individual books, they don't really go for much, but the paraphernalia for this brand definitely does. The nostalgia factor is there, and people are going to pay for it. Remember, nostalgia will make you money. Here's a pretty simple bread and butter item. You can find these all over the place. You can find them at thrift stores. You can find them at yard sales. I found these ones at that Overstock warehouse sale. So I got 3 of these for $5. These are Kenmore replacement refrigerator water filters. They're one of those replenishable items that people are always buying, so there's always demand for it, just like ink cartridges. If you see these and they are brand's name, pick them up. You can probably flip them pretty fast, and there's probably some decent money behind them. Now, with that being said, that is for the brand name ones. Don't go out and buy the off-brand ones. Those, just like the ink cartridges, don't hold their value. There isn't much value there. Alright, I've talked about cycling gear quite a bit on my channel, and we are in full force cycling season. It's the middle of fall, and people are out riding their bikes right now. This thing sold in about 3 weeks of me buying it. This is a Livestrong cycling jersey. Livestrong Nike stuff sells very well. If there is one kind of cycling jersey that you want to focus in on as far as branding goes, it is Livestrong. It has a huge following. Everybody remembers the Lance Armstrong era, and this is the kind of stuff that people are willing to pay up for. A normal cycling jersey might get you between 10 and 20 bucks, but if it's branded by Nike Livestrong, it's going to put it up in this range. This sold for $55. And this brings us to our final item of the night. This is the Tumi hinged dual compartment duffel bag that I found. I found this up in New York City. I paid up for it. I paid like 30 bucks for it, but Tumi is a awesome brand. If you don't know this brand, learn it right now. This is what it looks like on the inside. Tumi, fantastic brand. If you find it, you want to make sure that it's not faked. It is a highly faked brand because it is so popular, but when you find a real Tumi bag, you will know the quality is impeccable. It feels like you could ship it and check it into the plane no problem without worrying about your stuff inside getting damaged. This particular piece, I was able to charge a little bit more than what a typical Tumi briefcase would go for, and that's because of the way that this one opened. It opened from the center like an old school doctor's bag, which is pretty rare for a Tumi bag. So being that it opened up in a different way, I was able to ask a premium on it. I had this originally up for $300. It sat on my store for a while, but that's because of a few different reasons. One, it was a specialty bag, being that centerfold doctor style opening. Not a lot of people were looking for that. 2, it is on the higher ends that you're going to find for the duffel bags. And 3, if we look here at the picture, you can see it has a monogram straight on the top of the bag. Now, if you live near a Tumi store, you have one available to you, you can actually go in and get that removed free of charge, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've never done it before, but I've been told that they will do that. But overall, Tumi is a great brand to look for, both in quality and as far as reselling goes. If you ever see a piece of Tumi luggage out in the wild, pick it up if it's cheap. And that's going to wrap things up for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please remember to hit the like button and leave me a comment down below right now. The engagement helps out my channel a lot. I'm helping you guys out by giving you this information. Help me out by leaving me a comment, liking the video, and subscribing to my channel if you're not already. Otherwise, thank you for coming out. I appreciate all the support. Till next time, keep on treasure hunting. Peace.